Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My friends and I just got done watching The Strays, which is new on Netflix. And the ending, to me, it was so unexpected, right? And a lot of us busted out laughing, kind of like a nervous laughter, but it was very, like, it has the internet divided between what they think that the main character should have done in relation to her family, and we'll get into that in later context. So, The Strays is a British psychological thriller, and it's written and directed by Nathaniel Martello White. This is his directorial debut, so congratulations, Mr. White. And it follows Neve, who is the main character here, her family, her husband Ian, her son Sebastian, and her daughter Mary. So, of course, here they're all seated together. It's very picturesque family, very upper middle class. She works as the deputy headmaster for her children's private school, and her husband is very successful in his own right as well. So they're in Britain, and if you guys know anything about colorism, texturism, this movie hits on all of those themes. So it reminds me a little bit of a cross between the movie Passing, Imitation of Life, and Jordan Peele's Get Out. So it in that context, it explores the racial, racialized, privileged, biracial context, social status, and that's what our main character is focused on. So all throughout the movie, she is really battling with her own identity as a fair skinned Black woman, and she's looking past the microaggressions from her neighbors and her friends. And that's something that I believe that the director really wanted to focus on. She's hyper conscious of her race within society, and she's really overprotective of her children in terms of their friendships and their relationships. And she's really trying hard to cement her place in a privileged high society, in a role that she has an internal struggle with, or she has in conflict with throughout the film. And it's really interesting to see that, that plays out with all of the dynamics within her life, within her marriage, within her role as a mother, and also in her job. Her, throwing a gala at her house, and that reception that happens there in terms of, her friendships. This movie is really, it's really layered. So that's something that I took away from the film. And one huge aspect I feel like could have been explored a little bit deeper is the trauma that surrounds people who come from a racialized identity within a westernized society, right? So, for instance, this is set in London, and or the suburbs of London, I should say. But she's really struggling. Our main character, Neve, is her name. And she's really struggling in the fact that she sees these people, these young people, and every time she sees them, she freaks out pretty much, right? So she's, again, like I said, just kind of overprotective of her children. And even her children mention their mother's identity struggle or identity issues when it comes to race. Like, it's that big of an issue in the family. And I would have loved to see the director explore the trauma that occurs when a lot of people don't allow you to, you know, express the full emotions of humanity. I feel like that's what our main character is struggling with. she feels like she has to mold herself into something or someone that she's not. And it actually reminds me a little bit of what Meghan Markle was saying about her struggle to try to fit into the royal family in London. Being a biracial American woman, she was really struggling in that context because she felt like an outsider. And, she said that she wasn't even aware of her place in such a racialized society, but they kept bringing it to the forefront. They kept reminding her that she was a half Black woman. And so it got to the point where her and her husband, Prince Harry, were bullied so much because of the fact that she was 50% Black that she had to leave and come back home to America. So I don't know if that was what maybe a theme that the director was hinting at here, but there's a lot of trauma when it comes to people constantly denigrating you about your race, because none of us chooses the amount of melanin in our skin or the race we are or our birthplace or any of those things. Yet those things really are a large part of how our lives are shaped and how our identity is formed. And so that is a very contextualized conversation that really has the internet divided, especially when it comes to how she's dealing with these two young people that keep popping up into her life. And it's an interesting dynamic, especially when these young people, come to the gala that they are invited to, okay? And there's a huge surprise, a plot twist that, like I said, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but when they come to the gala, and then the surprise happens, our main character, Neve, her world just kind of falls apart. So again, she's, struggling with her own personal conflicts when it comes to being a Black woman in British society. And, she gets to the point where she makes a decision. She's very, resolute about it. And it affects not only her and the two young people who've popped up in her life, but it changes the dynamic of her whole family. So I want you guys to watch this for yourselves because, again, it has the internet talking just about the ending was completely unexpected for some people. Some people, said that they could read into it. And one thing I will say, our main character, she doesn't show any remorse. And so about her decision that she's made in the end. And that was a little bit alarming for me as well. I feel like hopefully maybe her and her family could explore the ideation around therapy and the importance of, relationships and interpersonal connections and, like I said, expressing yourself fully. But this movie it was really interesting. I almost forgot to mention that it is based on a true story. So the director said, Nathaniel said that he originally got this idea from a true story, which is, in my opinion, a little bit even more concerning. But again, that's film, right? That's the movies. Art imitates life, life imitates art. So whoever this woman is and her family members, that it's based on a true story, I hope that they are healing. I hope that they have sought out therapy. But I want you guys to watch this movie. Let me know your thoughts. Again, tell me what side you're on because, the intranets, they are, chit-chatting and they're divided between what the main character did, what the two young people, their choices were. Again, I think that everyone in this movie could benefit from therapy. I mean, of course, everyone could. But in terms of just identity formation, I really enjoyed the psychological roller coaster and looking at the character and her development. So I feel like the main character, Neve, definitely, she's a great actress. She did a great job. And congratulations to, Nathaniel White, the director, and his debut as a director writing in this film. But it was a wild ride. So drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.